Well, hey there guys, it's your favorite backyard geographer again, out in the garage, going through my junk, thought of you. It should come to you as no surprise that I really love history. And when you actually get to own a piece of that history and to be able to share it with your friends and family, that's something that's very special to me. But when you have a piece of history that is beyond just the US, but perhaps something that affected and it was known worldwide, that's something super special. So I'm really excited to share with you today my original piece of the Berlin Wall. So I'm not the only one to have a piece. In fact, many large segments of the Berlin Wall have been donated to various institutions since its fall on November the 9th, 1989. California alone has 10 extremely large pieces on display. That being said, some that were there back in 1989 were able to collect pieces as the wall came tumbling down. And my grandfather's really good close friend, Michael, did exactly that. So, going back to the beginning, August 13th, 1961, the communist government of East Germany began to build a barbed wire and concrete wall that separated East and West Berlin. The official purpose of this wall was to keep Western fascists from entering East Germany and undermining the socialist state, but it primarily served the objective of stemming mass defections from East to West. The wall itself would stand as a physical part of the iconic Iron Curtain, which is a political boundary that divided Europe from the end of World War II all the way through the end of the Cold War in 1991. The Berlin Wall stood until November the 9th, 1989, when the head of East Germany announced that the citizens of East Germany could finally cross that border whenever they pleased. That night, a static crowd swarmed the wall. Some crossed freely into West Berlin, while others brought hammers and picks and began to chip and tear away at that wall itself. To this day, the Berlin Wall remains as one of the most powerful and enduring symbols of the Cold War. The main wall itself was more than 155 kilometers in length, or nearly 97 miles. It included an anti-vehicle ditch, 20 bunkers, a death strip, guard road, 486 observation towers, and electric fences with alarms. Over the years, additional pipes and barricades and ditches would also be made. So I would like to kind of speak to this piece. The first thing you're going to observe is this little silver plaque that says Berlin Wall. That's because when I was given this by my grandfather, a lot of my friends were like, why do you have this piece of concrete? And I had to explain to them that this is not just any piece of concrete, that this is a piece of the Berlin Wall, something that was built to separate both, split Germany in half, but it separated families for decades. I mean, can you imagine having a wall built in your neighborhood and that separated you from your family for decades and not being able to see or communicate with them other than yelling or screaming from over that wall? I mean, this is really an iconic piece of just world history and struggle. And just think about just the fact that when it came down, how that was able to allow for so many families to begin healing from all those decades of strife and agony. So other pieces about this, this iconic piece of history that are interesting to me, and it was really specifically interesting to my grandfather, was that where did it come from? So like I said before, he had a friend, his name was Michael, who lived in Germany at that time, and so he actually acquired this piece and then wrapped it up and then brought it all the way back to give to my grandfather. My grandfather was a huge war collector in items and memorabilia. And he knew that my grandfather really wanted a piece of Berlin Wall, which, I mean, you can buy pieces, online, but just to know that someone from Germany wrapped this up, sent it to him, makes it a little more special than just being able to buy it. Another thing that is interesting is you'll notice it has this shell casing on the top. So it has a piece of rebar on the inside, and the rebar is of the exact same size as a traditional German casing, a bullet casing. I don't know the importance of that. I just know that my grandfather was very intrigued by that, by why was it the exact same measurement. So perhaps if you know, be sure to comment below. So that being said, be sure to like this video, comment below, especially if you've never knew about the Berlin Wall, or maybe you've seen it or you have a piece, and don't forget to subscribe, and we'll talk soon. So today is a little exciting in a sense that it's really exciting